Pro Wrestling Podcast North Wales. I'm your host Stuart Palmer, and I'm glad to say this is the first episode. I've toyed with the idea of this for many years. I think it's time for me to put my stance on it. There's thousands of podcasts, thousands and thousands on this very topic, which is wrestling that we all love and we all enjoy. Anyway, let's get straight into it. I'm not messing around. Basically, we obviously had the Royal Rumble on Sunday evening. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I've heard different things to how I felt, but what I would say is, my God, did Finn Balor look strong. And, Brock doesn't go often over 5 minutes, does he, for a match? Maybe a bit longer, maybe a bit too, over the top. I think 10 minutes was a perfect time. Balor got all his stuff in. He was made to look strong. I really didn't think his offense was going to be as much as it was. It was fantastic going forward. He deserves a go. You don't draw money like he did in Japan for no apparent reason. And I think the sooner Vince realises that, the better. They do need to put the strap on him. They are realising it, but they need to put the belt on him sooner rather than later. Otherwise, it's not going to work, is it? He's going to be off. He'll be gone. He'll go back to Japan, easily make a lot of money. AEW are there now. I would, if I was him, I'd just take every day as it comes at the moment. But they need to be putting the belt back on him eventually. Saying that, Braun Strowman, have they missed the boat with Braun? I think they have. They should have put the belt on him last WrestleMania. And they put him in the tag match, didn't they? Which I thought was farcical. But yeah, I think Finn Balor going forward, they've got to push him. They need new stars. Whether that be that, it ends up being him and Rollins in a feud, but they're going for Universal title, I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine with it. Not a problem at all. Right, next topic is Becky Lynch. Fantastic. Unbelievable. So she has that barnstormer of a match with Asuka. And then, lo and behold, there's an injury and she enters the Women's Rumble. And I thought it was fantastic. Was it obvious? I don't know. I wouldn't say it was obvious. You may think different to me. I'm of the thinking that I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought she'd have a match, and then that was that. And then leading off to that, obviously she's gone on Raw this week. I didn't want to segue to Raw right away, but I'm going to talk about Raw anyway. She ends up on Raw. She's going for Rousey. I have heard talk, the rumour mill, that Charlotte's going to be involved at WrestleMania in a triple threat. I don't think they should do that. I really don't. They've gone that way recently. They don't need to do it. It needs to be one-on-one, mono-y-mono. There's plenty of time for Charlotte to get in the mix. Leave it with Becky. Leave it with Ronda. That's fine. Not a problem. I'm happy with that as well. Watched the Rumbles fleetingly. I'm not going to lie. Watched highlights for the most part. I was otherwise engaged. So yeah, that was all right. Rollins getting it, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Could they have given it to someone from NXT? I'm of the thinking they could have done that to really curveball it. Aleister Black's ready. They could have quite possibly done that and just put Aleister right in the title picture, because I think he's that good. Simply put, he's that good. That's my opinion. If you think differently, that's fine. Get in touch with me. Speak to me about it. But as going forward, Aleister needs to be coming up now. Enough's enough. Also, Ciampa and Gargano, they're ready. But obviously, with Gargano winning the North American title, that probably isn't going to happen anytime soon, is it? Let's be honest. But going forward, fantastic. Love it. Absolutely love it. They've got to listen to the fans. There's a lot of competition. You start appeasing the fans are going to go elsewhere. Once AEW is up and running, they're going to be a major competitor. Are they going to be the magnitude of WCW? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see going forward what happens there. But it could be a WCW, couldn't it? It could be a Monday Night Wars. Why not go up against it? The more and more people that are signing on, the more and more I'm thinking they're going to be a serious competitor. Once Omega's been announced, they are really, they're going to be going balls to the wall against them. I'm telling you now, the Khans aren't going to mess around. There's hundreds of millions of dollars involved. They're not here to just make up the numbers and be another TNA, Ring of Honor, second or third. They want to be viable. They want to be viable, and I like it. I love it. Bryan versus AJ. I'll get back to the Rumble. Bryan versus AJ. It was okay. It was okay. It could have been better, I think. Putting Rowan with him, I get that. But, you know, you're not going to get much in a talking sense from Rowan. So, obviously, Bryan being as good as he is as heel on the mic, it's fine. They may as well use Rowan while Harper's injured. I get it. I understand why they've done that. It made perfect sense. Get him with him, bodyguard-esque, Diesel, Michaels. It works. It works. So, yeah, going forward, that's fine. I'm fine with that. And obviously, he's just unveiled the new title, the eco-friendly title with wood on it and material. And I've got to say, it looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. But, yeah, AJ doesn't particularly need the belt. Keep it on Bryan. I'd keep it on Bryan for several months now. SmackDown is better than Raw. And just, in my opinion, because it's 2 hours long, that's just my opinion. Raw could be better than it is, but 3 hours is too long. We all know that. So, you know, going forward, Raw needs to be cut down, regardless of sponsorship money and all the rest of it that they get from advertising revenue and all the things that, you know, contribute to it being a 3 hour show. Yep. So, yeah, that's just a basic start to the podcast. I need help. I'm going to need help to make it better, structure it. We're going to get proper mics. It'll be done weekly. I'm looking forward to it. Just to go into background about me, I should have done this in the other order really, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm going with it. I'm going with the flow. You know, it makes sense what I'm doing. I've been a WWE fan predominantly since 1990. I didn't have Sky Television. I used to get it taped via VHS from a bloke who worked with my dad many moons ago. Good man, Dennis Moon, and he used to record them when it used to be on Sky Movies, no less. But we didn't get the events live back then. It was done to tape, and then it was days later. I couldn't tell you how many days, but it was maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 days later that we would get it in the UK. How times have changed, eh? But yeah, my father took me to SummerSlam 1992 at Wembley Stadium. I was only 6 years old. I remember certain bits. I remember being in the stadium. I would have remembered more if I was older. But there you go. Very, very lucky. We took the 4.5, 5 hour journey down to London and we were in Wembley that day. And I do remember my all-time favourite, Bret Hart and Bulldog. I do remember it. And I also remember Lennox Lewis coming out with a Union Jack with Bulldog. It was fantastic. Also, Piper with his bagpipes. I remember that. And it's not vivid, that's I remember him coming out and he played the bagpipes with whoever they were. I don't know the name. The Scottish bagpipe players. And yeah, that was that. And then we had a bit of a hiatus from going to live events till 1999 when my father took me, my cousin and my friend to the Attitude Adjustment Tour, and that was in Birmingham, which was 2 hours away from here. And yeah, that was 99, but I got to see The Rock, I got to see Austin, Triple H, Kane when he was masked. The Boss Man was there, I think, if I can remember, if memory serves. Goldust, there was so many. Edge. So many, and it was brilliant that we went to that because it was a house show. It wasn't televised, so they could go off script a little bit, and that was amazing. And then the next thing I went to see, I think it was 03, and we went to Manchester to a house show. It was a SmackDown exclusive house show at the Manchester Arena, and I always remember it was on a Sunday, and it was fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant. Benoit versus Albert, I remember that. It was incredible. It was good to see Benoit, obviously, before all the madness happened, but he was unreal. He was the closest thing we had to Dynamite Kid. You know, obviously Dynamite Kid had to retire, so watching Benoit was like watching Dynamite, who I'd seen years prior, but he was obviously winding down by the time I was watching it because he was more prevalent in the late 80s. But yeah, to see Benoit, that was just incredible. It was superb. And then we went to Sheffield the following year to another SmackDown event. I cannot remember. I think Angle was there. Angle might have been at the previous one the year before as well, but got to see Angle, and I met Angle years later in America, and he was superb. He was such a nice guy, down to earth and brilliant. So yeah, after that, the next show, I don't think we did another one then until 2009. That was in Liverpool. It was a Raw. I think it was a Raw Raw house show. And Ziggler, it was just before Ziggler was getting the big push, really, 2009. They tweaked his character. And I remember Ziggler being there. I can't really remember what matches were on, if I'm honest. And then yeah, I've missed a year out here because I went to WrestleMania 2008 in Orlando, and that was WrestleMania 24, and we went, and it was the first one we did. We flew out to Orlando. We got a really good deal. It was amazing. It still probably is. It's in the top 3 WrestleManias I've been to. Fantastic. Following year, we didn't manage to go. Fast forward 2010, my father came away with us to Phoenix, Arizona after 2 of the lads dropped out. I didn't want to fly on my own. Pops came in, filled the gap, and there we were. We were off to Phoenix, Arizona. Unbelievable. Great place, very spread out though. So a lot of the events, it was hard getting to and from. And we met people that we are still in touch with today who are coming to my wedding, no less, this year, and the stag do, hash bachelor party. And made friends for life when we went to Phoenix, Arizona in 2010. And they all live across the UK, and they are massive wrestling fans, and I love them dearly. I'm rambling now, aren't I? Fast forward another year, 2011, we went out to Atlanta, Georgia for WrestleMania 27, and it was fantastic. It was great. Not the best WrestleMania, but there you go. It was a lot closer. You could get around the city. It was easier to get around. I would say Atlanta, if they get Atlanta again, that'd be fantastic because it'd work very well because you can get to and from, and you're not having to get taxis everywhere and, sorting transportation out. Missed Miami in 2012, didn't go, was having issues, so we didn't go. 2013, New Jersey, New York, it was all right as a WrestleMania went. It could have been better. It was very cold. It was ferociously cold in there. And the funny thing was, following day, it was bright and sunny, the day we were going to be going home. We went on the Tuesday, actually. But yeah, the Monday, glorious. But it was Baltic in the stadium the day of WrestleMania. And now, they say about having heaters. They had heaters under the ring for the wrestlers because it was so bitterly cold. But, it was fine. As Manias go, it wasn't the best. And then the following year, we were in New Orleans, Louisiana. And that's in the top 3, most definitely. And my dad came to that as well. So that was his third Mania. And we were all there, us lads. There was about 10 of us, 11 of us there. Locally UK, all UK based. We went over and I met Johnny and Dale, who now have the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast. But they've had that going for 5 years and make it sound like it's now. Unbelievable. It was lovely to meet them because I knew them from the AfterBuzz days prior to them setting up the podcast. And they are just brilliant. They're fantastic lads, and they deserve everything they get. They really do. They're down to earth, they're normal, they know what they're talking about. I might not agree with everything they say, but majority stuff I will agree with. But that's what it's all about. It's about opinions. And so so then 2015, San Jose, California. It was up there with 24 and 30, WrestleMania 31. Well booked, well put together. Sting versus Triple H. I think Sting should have gone over, personally, but it was just all the pageantry that he had with it. Obviously, NWO and DX came down. It was unreal. Crowd was amazing. And then, obviously, Ronda being at ringside when being called out by Triple H and Stephanie, and then The Rock getting involved. It was unbelievable. The booking was spot on. The booking couldn't have been any better. And I don't think people were expecting 31 to be that good on paper, but it was. Bryan winning the ladder match and getting, the IC title, just so well put together. And, I'm glossing over it because there were so many good matches. Rollins obviously cashing in, but going up against Orton earlier on in the night, and the RKO, that amazing RKO where he just lifted him off and he was up in the air and he planted him. Unbelievable. But yeah, Rollins cashing in. I think everyone predicted that. I knew something was going to happen. And then obviously Brock, the following night on Raw, going absolutely berserk at ringside, was brilliant. And I think that had legs, that feud, and they cut it short, in my opinion, with Rollins and Lesnar. But obviously that's probably going to get readdressed now, isn't it? Years later. But role reversal, because you've got Rollins' face and then Lesnar will be heel, although he tweeners, doesn't he? He's a tweener, and that's just how it is. But they could have had that feud had legs for me, Rollins and Lesnar, and they cut it short in 2015. But we're gonna get it back. So that's cool. I'm cool with that. 2016, the last WrestleMania I did, Dallas, Texas. Not the greatest place, Texas. Dallas as a place. I've been to better places. The Mania was okay. There was issues getting into the stadium. But there was 100,000 people trying to get in. Well, WWE say 100,000. We all know it's over-accentuated how many are actually in the stadium. However, yeah, it was nightmare getting in. Pre-show was on. Matches were going on. It was absolute carnage. It wasn't the most well organised of the events I've done, but all in all, I was there with the lads again. There was a big group of us from the UK, and we made the best of it. We made the best of it, and it was all right as Manias go. Zack Ryder winning the Money in the Bank, not Money in the Bank, sorry, the IC title on the ladder. That was pretty cool. I didn't like the fact that he lost the belt the following night to Miz. I think that was silly, But Zack's still there, isn't he? He's still going strong. So yeah. And the next Mania, who knows? Who knows when we're going to get to the next WrestleMania? I've got a lot of personal things going on. Hopefully 2020, depending on where it is. So yeah, that is the basic. That's the introduction to this. We're going to call it a podcast. It's been a lot of me talking, but the idea is we're going to have fans on. I'm going to get wrestlers involved. I'm hoping to get Dale Rutledge involved with it to come on and guest for me, but he's very busy. But Dale is fantastic, and he's well in the business in the journalistic capacity, and so hopefully going forward, that'll be us, and that'll be where we're at. So yeah, thank you for listening to this. I will be back in the near future with a full setup, and we'll go for it. We'll have a go. We'll see how we get on. Take care, everyone. Bye. Right, well, it's an absolute pleasure to have the founder and CEO of Nothing Else on TV, Sean McMahon, in my company today. Sean, you're the first guest to be on the Stewie Palmer Wrestling podcast.
Excellent, I'm honoured.
Not a problem, mate. I'm just so happy we managed to get you on. I know you're busy, obviously, with your project and what have you. Just a quick question, mate. Are you related to Vince McMahon?
Not directly related. I'm told it's up 5 generations, but you never know.
Oh, you've been on Ancestry.com then?
It's just what the family take,
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I had to ask, I had to segue there. I had to do it.
Yeah, I usually get asked that question at least once or twice a day on Facebook.
Oh, there was me thinking I'd be the first ever to ask you, but hey-ho, that's how it goes. It's just one of them, isn't it? It's one of them, mate.
It is. And it helps as well.
I bet it does. Sean, what is your background, obviously leading into this project that you've set up?
My background is running a PR and marketing agency. I also got a love of wrestling since the 80s. It's just the way PR marketing is working. Is a lot of it is video, we crossed over into the wrestling realm with a couple of the clients at the Coyote Ugly Saloons. We had wrestling in there, and we ran the ball with that project, and it developed into the TV station.
Absolutely fantastic. Obviously, I think it's good to see. It's good to see that you've started this up, and I like the fact that you're going in looking, obviously, for other wrestling companies to come in and work in conjunction with you. I think it's brilliant, and it's not just UK-based promotions, is it?
No. So we're trying to hit quite a few different targets for different countries around the world to bring people different styles of wrestling. Out of the 5 wrestling promotions in China, we've got 4 currently signed onto the station, 3 are already up and running. The 4th one's coming on in February, so that's working really well. We've got promotions in Budapest, in Germany, Russia, obviously the UK, Mexico, and we even got one in the Philippines coming on the channel with us, which is really cool.
Oh, fantastic. I'm obviously staying quiet here. I hate when these interviewers jump in. Obviously, you're my guest. I want to hear everything that you can possibly hear. So, yeah, next question. What are the future goals of the company?
Well, we're currently working quite closely with Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, which are a partner of All Elite Wrestling. So we're just basically seeing how that develops and how that moves on. There's some quite exciting things on the cards with regards to that, which we're getting asked on a daily basis of, and all Elite Wrestling obviously have already announced their partnership with Oriental Wrestling. Oriental Wrestling's already announced their partnership with ourselves. already up and running on the channel, and that's having a massive impact not only on our channel but also helping other wrestling promotions as well that are on the channel. So people are coming in going, wow, we need to see this Oriental Wrestling entertainment, and then discovering other wrestling promotions in different styles all over the world as well.
Fantastic. I've learned something there as well, because I didn't realise that they were in with AEW. Obviously, with all the stuff in the news about AEW in the wrestling circles, it's fantastic. I've learned something there, which is, what this is all about. It's all about learning. So, yeah. And then, Sean, the next question is, obviously, there was a bit of mainstream news coverage, even regional, because I'm based in North Wales, so I saw the news when the Dwarf Wrestlers were on was it Coyote Ugly?
Yeah. So they did 3 shows in Coyote Ugly. So they did Cardiff, Swansea, and Liverpool.
Right. Okay. I just assumed Coyote Ugly was Cardiff. I didn't realise.
Yeah, they've also got one in Manchester, but it's a little bit too small to fit a ring in, even a smaller ring.
Right. Okay. What was the next question? What are your memories of wrestling growing up? So I'm just going to veer off. I'll just veer off now.
So growing up, I used to watch the AWA a lot with the Destruction Crew. I think they became the Beverly Brothers. I remember
the Beverly Brothers, mate. I absolutely do. Yeah.
Yeah, they used to be cool before they went to WWE. I also used to go and watch British wrestling at Sheffield Town Hall.
Right.
So yeah, that was quite good. Also had a few pen pal letters from Mcmahon and stuff growing up. So yeah, wrestling has always been there in the family.
Have you still got the letters?
No.
Right. Okay.
No, I moved from Yorkshire down to Bristol. Moved from Bristol to Cardiff. Gone through a divorce. Lost lots of my childhood memories, so to speak. So,
sorry about that, mate. Sorry for asking that.
It's all good fun.
Oh, right, okay, mate. I didn't want to, it was getting a bit...
It's all part of the life journey,
It is, mate. It's all about life, and I'm going through my own personal stuff at the moment, mate. No, yeah, we all get hit with stuff. We all get hit with stuff, don't we, unfortunately, but it's how you get through it. So, what station...
going back to the Dwarf Wrestling...
Sorry,
the Dwarf Wrestling, they're actually coming back now for a second tour. So on the 1st and 2nd of April, they're back in the UK. They're doing... we've expanded the tour outside of Coyote Uglies as well, but
right, okay.
On the 1st of April they're in Cardiff, 2nd of April they're in Swansea. So yeah, they're coming back. I think, there was a bit of negativity initially, like, oh my God, these guys shouldn't be doing this. But after they realised they were actually trained professional athletes that put on a really good wrestling show, people enjoyed that. And it's showing now on the ticket sales, and they're now looking for even more venues to expand the tour even more. We recently put out the first match on Chinese channel, our partners over in China, and we had 8 million views of it, which we thought was brilliant. They came back and said it was a bit disappointing, and we had commentary in Mandarin and Cantonese, so we're actually doing that this Friday.
Right, okay.
And putting it back out into China, which is quite good. But yeah, that had really, really good effect. It's on the channel now. Every Saturday you can watch the Dwarfinator's different match every single week. So I think in total we've got 12 matches over the next 11 weeks, so it's quite cool.
To have 8 million views as well, I think that I would consider that high. You're obviously happy with that.
Yeah, we're extremely happy with that, and it's helping us develop our channel for the Chinese market, which is our next big step. We're aiming for a May launch in China. Because they use different systems than we do for internet, so it's developing it into that to fit within their society and how they operate. So yeah, we're aiming for May for a Chinese launch, which is huge. They've got a population of 1.6 billion.
Yeah.
Give you an example of WWE and OWE. So WWE's got, I think, 1.96 million subscribers on the app. and OWE Oriental Wrestling Entertainment's got 40 million reach in China.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it, would you?
Yeah, so the deal what we've got with Oriental Wrestling allows us to broadcast Oriental Wrestling outside of China. So we've got a deal where we've got worldwide rights on broadcasting that, which is really cool for us. It's one of the most exciting brands out there. It's completely different to everybody else out there because it is Kung Fu style wrestling, which is not being seen outside of China. The Tibetan monk, if you've seen one of his matches, is something like out of the Matrix. We've not seen any fighting style like that since, the old Kung Fu movies. So it's just crazy.
Different, diverse.
It's so entertaining. It's brilliant. And that's the most exciting thing at the moment with the development with Oriental Wrestling and All Elite Wrestling is like, what matches have we got coming up? How is that partnership going to develop? And I think, that's one of the most exciting things out there at the moment is looking at how that develops moving forward, which is really cool.
Good stuff. What are your opinions on the current state of wrestling?
It's very good, and I see more global wrestling than most people because we get a lot of promotions sending us their shows to put on the channel. There's a lot of independent wrestling out there that hasn't been seen. A lot of people just stick to, the main promotions or the ones that are perceived as cool, even though they don't actually watch it. They go, oh yeah, I watch New Japan, it's really cool, but really they don't watch it. And there's a lot more to be discovered out there, but not just on, production values, but also talent in the ring as well. There's so many different styles out there. There's so many good wrestlers. You're talking thousands and thousands of promotions. So, there's so much more to be discovered, which is really good.
How much do you offer the service for as well, just for listeners to...
So we priced it at a worldwide price point, which is quite unique. So we priced it at $4.99 a month for anybody for full channel access, which is really good. And it's not just wrestling. We've got indie films on there. We've got classic films. We've got boxing. We've got a live boxing event going out on the 2nd. So there's quite a lot.
Yeah.
You get value for your money. It's not just a wrestling channel, which is good.
Yeah.
Because, if you're a wrestling fan, you want to see other things anyway.
Of course.
There isn't a wrestling fan that doesn't like watching films. So we're focusing on some sci-fi films, especially classic ones, and some horror films, especially indie films that are horror genre, which is really cool. So it's about giving people value for money as well. And if you're a wrestling promotion coming onto our channel, you also get paid for your content as well on the subscribers that you get to the channel. So that's quite a unique way of doing things. So it's helping the wrestling promotions grow as well by giving them an income stream, which is quite cool.
Yeah, sounds really good. What platforms is the service available on as well? Just for the listeners so they know where they can obviously go to.
Yeah, so currently it's available online. So you go to nothingelse.on.tv. If you've got any casting sticks like Google or Apple TV and stuff like that, you can cast it across to your TV. The next stage is what we've got currently being developed is an Android app and Apple TV app. So they'll be launching within the next 3 to 4 months.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Sean, thank you so much for sparing me, 10, 15 minutes there. I appreciate you're very busy.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorting stuff out, I really do. And going forward, I hope we can get you on again at a later date. Absolutely fantastic.
Cool.
Thank you ever so much.
Really exciting things coming your way. So definitely stay in touch.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see how the channel is developing over the next couple of months.
Of course.
Really cool. We're working on some awesome new things. So it'd be good. Definitely stay in touch. And I look to be appearing again.
Thank you very much for your time, Sean. And I'll speak to you soon.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, mate. Take care, pal. Bye now.
Bye.